Your regular programming of North Star Radio will now be interrupted, so you might hear Mark Mercer's Loving, Caring, and Sharing.
In a world gone mad, this is Loving, Caring, Sharing.
Man, what a week. Holy cow. I don't know about you guys, but I thought this was quite a week. I mean, this was in so many ways, this is it's been a surprise to me. Sad surprises, weird surprises, bad surprises. But I tell you what, I'm glad it's Friday night. And welcome everybody to Mark Mercer's Loving, Caring, and Sharing. I am your host, Mark Mercer. And, of course, I'm joined here this evening by people from around the world. Right here in Loving, Caring, and Sharing Studios, we have joining us right here in the studio my manager's son, Tyler. Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm here.
You're here? Yes, you are. Everybody, I actually posted on Facebook about tonight's show that Tyler will be giving the perspective of the youths of today. Tyler, how old are you again?
15.
You're 15. And you went to school today?
Yeah.
Good. And did you learn anything?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, that's public education for you. And
oh, wait, no, I go to tech school.
You go to tech school? Okay, did you learn anything in tech school today?
Yeah, I learned how to fix part of a motor.
Part of a motor?
Yeah.
All right, well, next week you can tell us what other part you're fixed, all right? All right, we're going to be coming back to Tyler in a little while. He's going to be doing a book review for us tonight. He's giving us a little bit of synopsis of a book written by Lee Summers. And we'll also be reminding everybody about Frank Brady's upcoming novel that's to be released this month, as a matter of fact. Also joining me in the LCS Studios West, all the way down to Springdale, Arkansas, is my co-host, Steve Deloach. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing great, Mark. How are you tonight?
Good. How's the throat feeling?
It is still a little scratchy, but I am plugging along.
Have you been bathing it in Reed's ginger brew?
I have been bathing it in Reed's ginger brew. I've got my cup of hot tea here with me now, and I'm just, it sounds much worse than it actually is. I don't have any pain at all, so.
Well, you don't sound that bad, but you did sound scratchy last night when we were talking, so I was, concerned. But you sound good, buddy.
I appreciate the concern.
You betcha. Also joining us is, of course, my producer, Daniel Davison. Daniel, how are you this evening?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Mark. How are you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like he's doing very well.
You know what? He ate a lot of chicken before the show. What was in that chicken anyway? Anyway, we're also joined all the way down in Mississippi by our good friend Don Hartness. Don, how are you tonight?
Fine, sir. Click the bell.
All right, and you're sounding gurgly, Don. You know what? I don't understand. Don calls in. He does everything right, and Skype malfunctions on him. Yeah, that Skype is the software we love to hate. And of course, join us from Waco, Georgia. We have on the line with us, piggybacking in on my Skype, Bill Looman. Bill, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to hear your voice. Busy week this week, eh?
Oh, yeah. Hectic, busy,
yeah.
Enlightening at times.
I guess you could say that. Well, I guess I should let you all know that tonight we were going to be doing Tommy J's Do-Up Hop, but unfortunately that has been canceled. Tommy J had extenuating circumstances come up, and he was unable to do the show. And our apologies for those of you who are looking forward to that. But no worries. We are going to take the wheel tonight and do kind of a ad hoc Loving, Caring, and Sharing. We're gonna wing it tonight. There's enough going on in this world this week, I'll tell you, that had my head spinning. I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't even get my mind around some of the just the news that was going on this week was weird stuff and sad stuff. I mean, really sad stuff. We actually have some headlines and stuff that we're going to get into shortly, and to talk about these items that came up. But I do want to let everybody know that there's going to be some PBX changes going on at North Star. And what that means is simply this. We're going to be off the air for a week, possibly two. All right, so be patient with us. This is all about software upgrades and all kinds of stuff like that. Bottom line is we will be back, but next week we will probably not be on the air. If we're going to be on the air, I will be posting it left and right on Facebook, so keep your eyes and ears peeled. All right, and then, of course, when we do get back to regular scheduled programming, we'll be posting about that as well. And, of course, those of you that are listening now on North Star Radio, you can always email me, Mark, at my email is mark@northstar-radio.co.uk. If you want to get a hold of Steve, the MOA of Loving, Caring, Sharing, that's the Master of Arms. His email is steve@northstar-radio.co.uk. And if you want to complain about Loving, Caring, and Sharing, you can always get a hold of my program manager, Daniel, by emailing him. And his email address is daniel@northstar-radio.co.uk.
I'm so glad you said that, because that email address will bounce.
Oh, that's good. Okay, but the phone numbers aren't going to bounce, are they?
No.
Not tonight, anyway. All right, for those of you who are listening, you want to call in if you have comments or questions, something going on you want to discuss. Our phone numbers in the United States, area code 415-639-3180. I'll repeat that, area code 415-639-3180. And in the UK, the calling phone numbers are 0203-603-6256. That is 0203-603-6256. All right, so what a week. Where to begin? Steve, what do you think would be a good place to begin?
Well, last week we interviewed Susan Cowsill, and in the course of that interview, she talked about the fact that she had a crush as a child on Davy Jones.
That's right. I remember.
He was the often viewed as the lead singer for the Monkees.
Right.
And she even talked about the fact that this last year on her birthday, that he called her and sang happy birthday to her.
Say that again, Steve, would you?
I said she even talked about the fact that this year on her birthday that he called and sang happy birthday to her.
Yeah, actually, I think she said he's been doing that for years. He calls her up like every year and does that. She says she's one of the few women she knows that actually has Davy Jones' personal phone number in her cell phone.
And sadly, this Wednesday, at the age of 66, Davy Jones passed away. He had a heart attack and passed away in Florida.
Right. Very sad.
Very sad. He's been very active. The Monkees had a tour last year, both in the UK and in the US. Mm-hmm. They had one scheduled for this year, and there were some scheduling difficulties, and so that tour was canceled. But as early as 2 weeks ago, Davey was out in L.A. at a big extravaganza of lots of stars from yesterday signing autographs and looking the picture of health.
Yeah, and he also, didn't he just do a concert like on the 12th or 14th or something like that in Oklahoma? I'm pretty sure I read that. Yeah, yep. I'm pretty sure I read that. He had just done a concert like 2 weeks ago with the Monkees.
Well,
what's his name? Mickey Dolan.
Yes. We were, my brother and I, on Tuesday night, were at a Razorback basketball game, an Arkansas Razorback basketball game.
That's
and
right.
Through the course of that evening, the band started playing I'm a Believer.
Really?
And I turned to my brother and said, do you know what group recorded that song? And he's several years younger than I am, and he said, well, man, I'm thinking the Beatles. And I said, well, that was the Monkees. And the Monkees were kind of their TV show, which came out in '66, was kind of a response to the popularity of the Beatles, and the studio wanted to cash in on that popularity. And although the Monkees never really attained the same critical stature that the Beatles attained,
Right.
they were huge in popularity in the 60s.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Every
Lot-
Saturday morning, man, I was parked in front of the TV set watching the Monkees. I love that show.
That's right. And there are many that say that although they probably didn't invent it, they certainly perfected the music video, because that was a large component of their shows.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no question. Yeah, I remember where I was when I heard about it, because I was in such shock, because I went over to visit the guys over where I used to work, Alan and Rick and the guys, and I was talking to Alan. He's like, "So how did it go, Susan Castle?" I'm telling him all this stuff. I said, and I said, get this, she had a crush on Davy Jones, and then Davy and her, they've known each other for decades, and he calls her up every year and says something like, "Susan, it's Davy. I'm still in love with you, darling. Happy birthday," something like that. And just as I said that, Rick walks up. He's the other owner over at, he's one of the partners over at Platinum, and he said, "Did you say Davy Jones?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I just heard on the radio that he died." And I was like, "What? You got to be kidding me." He said, "No, I'm serious." He said, "I'm not kidding you." He said, "I just heard on the radio. I couldn't believe it." And I'm like, "Oh, man, Susan's got to be completely wiped out. I can't believe this." I was, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of, unfortunately, a whole lot of, pop stars, celebrities, whatever, that really trashed their lives. Now, the Monkees, they took drugs and they carried on and did stuff, but they didn't turn into a bunch of jerks. You know what I mean? They didn't become like a lot of other egotistical maniacs. Davy Jones was actually, as far as I could tell, from what I've read about him, I never met him. I never even saw them in concert. But from what I understand, he was a gentleman. He was a decent guy. As a matter of fact, he owned the Monkey Museum in Jim Thorpe, PA. He's lived there for years. And he's got the Monkey Mobile. He's got the monkey lunch boxes. He's got all the stuff that we bought as kids for people to come and tour and see the museum. And he's been living happily here in the States for many, many years. And, I was just flabbergasted to find out that he passed away. Just really brought me down, I'll tell you. Made me sad.
Well, it certainly wasn't expected. Of course, I was actually kind of surprised to hear that he was 66 years old. You always picture people as they were.
Mm-hmm. He aged well. I don't know if you saw any pictures of him, but he looked pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked pretty good for 66.
He really did look pretty good for 66.
Yeah, I'd like that good at 60. I'd like to have looked that good at 25, but that's.
Oh, you look all right. You look all right at 70, Mark. Don't worry.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, so it was a sad week, no question about it, and he'll be missed. I'll miss him. I tell you, the world ain't going to be the same without Davy Jones in it. It ain't. Nope.
Yep, I think you're right.
So that was depressing, and I'm still chewing on that. It's one of those things where you're just like, wow, you never know. You never know when your time's up. That's the thing. You never know. You absolutely never know.
Here's some interesting things about those guys. They, a lot of people will think of the Monkees and think, oh, that was just a campy little group. They walked in the upper stratosphere of the rock scene during the time that they were popular. Frank Zappa appeared on one of their episodes. Neil Young commented that he had written some of their songs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy, listen to this. Listen to this. Jimi Hendrix opened for the group during part of their 1967 concert tour.
I remember reading that in Cream magazine. Yeah. I mean, it was like, Jimi Hendrix will be playing, but the Monkees will be on right away. Everybody goes nuts. Who's Jimi Hendrix?
Well, actually, Jimi Hendrix left the tour early, and part of it was because fans kept chanting Jones's name during his sets.
Whoops.
So, it was, these guys really did enjoy the upper stratosphere of the rock culture during the time that they were popular, and many of their songs are still